What is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video, and we're back at redoing this because apparently my microphone wasn't on when I originally recorded this video. Wow. Technology, right? Anyways, so we have some unfortunate news. Pokémon Bank, as I talked about already, but I have to talk about again because I didn't record it. Pokémon Bank, as of February 26, 2027, will no longer be available to transfer your Pokemon, or even transport your Pokemon from the DS games to the 3DS, because they're also getting rid of Transporter as well. So, you know, with the black white or black and white 1 or 2, you would be able to transfer them to your 3DS games. That won't be a thing anymore either. And I'm very pissed off about it. Because again, we got Pokemon that will never be able to. I mean, there's still Pokemon I have in my games. Okay, there are still Pokemon in my 3DS that I haven't transferred over to the home because I still never just really decided if I wanted to transfer them over. There's a lot of them. I mean, there's some I did, but there's a lot I haven't. You know what I'm saying? And now we're expected to transfer everything over. Now, I'm sure there's going to be an unofficial way to combat Pokemon Bank once Pokemon Bank is gone, because, there are people out there that do that stuff. But officially, there's going to be no way to transfer any games from the DS generation on. Because, well, even the 3DS too, but games from the old days to 3DS, you won't even be able to get them up on the 3DS if you haven't already. So yeah, this is really bad. I hate it. I hate what they're doing. And again, this goes back to the service issues, where gaming companies can just shut things down whenever they feel like it, and then no one else can pick up the server because obviously they pay for servers to stay up. It's ridiculous, and it's something that I hope the Gaming Act could change. It allow companies or someone to be allowed to pick up the server for a company if they decide to not continue it. It's something, we talked about. Well, we only talked briefly about it, about the disc shit that's going on with PlayStation. Obviously, we'll be talking more about that very soon. But it's just fucking ridiculous, man. And you got so many people that rely on that bank to get it into home, right? And now you're gonna just fucking just get rid of it, right? It's just ridiculous. You got literally Brigette, the host of Pokémon Bank, who's gonna be unemployed thanks to the greedy Nintendo company. I mean, what is Brigette gonna do now? You know what I mean there? Just gonna leave her hanging? Just gonna leave her hanging like that? You know what I mean? But yeah, in all seriousness, Pokemon Bank is, like I said, I will tell you guys, if there's stuff that you still want on home, go do it now. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do, because I just a couple of years ago, we just had, the 3DS service shut down. And then, of course, obviously, Bank and Transporter, if you didn't already have it, you can't get it anymore. Obviously, I still have it, but because I had already have it, but you had to pay like $5 a month until the 3DS service got shut down. This is why I said back then, I just Pokemon Home really should have just continued being Pokemon Bank. They should have just updated it to the Nintendo Switch. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously up the price and stuff like that for when you're transferring it to, the new bank into the Switch games. But that's what they should have done. Like, this is so fucking stupid, that they're, doing this to people. Because I knew this would be an issue at some point once we got to Pokemon Home. But in general, I mean, I wish they would have just continued doing it with the games. We had Park Place at one point. We had all the way up to, Gen 2. Gen 1 didn't really have an official method, though there is unofficial methods out there that have been created for Gen 1. But, all these games, literally, all these Pokemon games up to the current gens are going to be basically just, gone, right? They're just going to be gone, and it's kind of bullshit, They were having to do this over again and, having to figure shit out, and this is all because of greediness by Nintendo, because they always shut things down way too soon. But also, I do believe this is due to the fact that they want to bring the classic games into the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2. Because all the classic games, Red, Blue, Yellow, Crystal, Silver, and Gold, all the original ones, okay, from Gen 1 and Gen 2, okay, they're all available on the 3DS, or were when you were able to still legally buy them there. Technically, I guess if people are modding the games, I guess you could still get them, but you're not supposed to do that. But anyways, my point being is that the 3DS games, okay, the 3DS games, right? Like, it's just really unfortunate because, like I said, what they're doing to do is they're cutting off the line from those games because they want you to buy them for the new game or for the new consoles. At least that's what I think they're doing, because they got Fire Red and Leaf Green on the Nintendo Switch now, which, by the way, I think in October they're going to have it available where you can somehow transfer Pokemon from Pokemon Home or games from there to Pokemon Home. Obviously it's $14 a year for the home service, but as I said, I think it would have been just better if they had just kept Bank and they just updated it all to the mobiles and stuff like that. It would have been so much better, because then at least we would have had the same service on the new consoles instead of having to, adopt to a new console like a Pokemon Home. Yeah, I hate this, and I really hope that there's something that can be done. I don't think there will be, but this is really bad. This is bad for Pokemon game players, and obviously Brigette is going to be unemployed. You know what I'm saying? But what are you gonna make Brigette do now that she can't, be our bank teller? You know what I'm saying? She's been our banker. She's been our banker researcher for like years, and you're just gonna take her away like that. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, it's just, I just hate how these gaming companies are like, taking down services just because, well, you don't want to pay for it anymore. There's got to be something that that can be done about this, and obviously Pokemon Bank in this case isn't really it's not a gaming, online service. It's a service to transfer stuff to game. But I would still argue it is a game because it's transferring other Pokemon from other games from other Pokemon games. So it's very important. And I just think it's ridiculous that they're doing this bullshit. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where I'm just like, come on. Like, what are we doing here? I don't even know what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many like I said, games are gonna be the games are gonna be trapped in like the console that you play them for, pretty much. Like all the silver and gold, the remakes of the silver and gold games. Obviously, those games you have to transfer the Pokemon from black or white, black and white 2 games to get them onto the 3DS. But that's going to be cut off, so you're not going to even be able to get once they get to black and white 1 or black and white 2. You're essentially cut off. It's going to essentially be cut off. Because the 3DS transporter will be gone too. That's another thing that no one's talking about. The transporter that allows the Pokemon to go to Bank, which then goes to the 3DS. Okay, the 3DS games, that's going to be cut off. So with that being cut off, that means that we're not going to be able to have any games. Or we're not going to have any more Pokemon being able to be transferred over beyond what the fuck's it called? Beyond black and white. After DS, that's it. That's it. It's gone. You won't be able to do anything more, and it's ridiculous. Again, I think, the preservation of the old Pokemon are gone because, again, you're going to have a digital game now going forward. You are going to have a digital game of, in the case of, Fire Red and Leafy Green, you're going to have a, digital game, and it's not going to have the original save file from your classic Fire Red game. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to have the classic one on there because that doesn't have that game file on it. And I don't think anybody has figured out how you can transfer your game file from your original console or your handheld to the digital version of it. I don't think you can. So that's done. You know what I'm saying? That's done right there. Like that's it. And that's what I'm saying. This is ridiculous. This is stupid. I'm so pissed that they're doing this. We deserve better than this. I'm just so mad at what they're doing to Pokemon's. And I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do going forward, right? Because what's next? Well, what are they going to cut next? Is Home going to eventually get cut too? I don't think Home's, at least not right now, because they're using it for Nintendo Switch 2, which, again, if they had just done the damn fucking thing with Pokemon Bank to begin with, instead of never creating Pokemon Home and just update Pokemon Bank service so it's, a higher price a year from $5 to $14 or whatever to Nintendo Switch, we wouldn't be in this fucking mess. Okay? But of course, they had to create a new fucking service once they got to Nintendo Switch. And now it's fucking everything over from people that want preservations of the games from when they were kids and stuff like that and whatnot. Now, obviously, I can't use the ones I did because a lot of the old games we had when we were kids got lost and some of them got broken, honestly. Well, at least the save file did. Someone told me that they could fix it. I don't think they can. Because I was trying for a while to fix those games, like my old Game Boy Color games. I don't even know where I'm talking about the Game Boy Colors games, not the Game Boy Advance games. I still have my Pokemon Emerald. I still have my original Pokemon Emerald game from when I was much younger. That one still works. My Pokemon Emerald game still works, and I have never transferred anything from that fucking game. That's the one I should be transferring the shit from. But that's one of the things too. Is like some people are like, well, we have to transfer it because it's like fucking like, you know, you have to transfer it because it's like, you know, you want to keep that going or whatever. And I was like, I was always in the mentality I never wanted to do that because I felt like the preservation of it was better in the actual game that it came from. You know, because it was part of my childhood. But now I'm fucking thinking, I'm wondering if I should, because that's the, like, that game, my Pokemon Emerald game, the original one. Okay, well, they didn't make a remake of Emerald, but that one has Pokemon from when I was a fucking kid on there. Like, a lot of these other Pokemon from the newer games that I have, which I love them, don't get me wrong. I love these Pokemon games. I love these Pokemon that I've transferred over. Okay? A lot of them are much newer, you know? Okay? You know, more recently games. But that Pokemon Emerald game, because that's the only one that still works. Like, my original Yellow, my original Red, they don't fucking work for shit. Okay, and I don't know what happened to my original Silver copy or my original Crystal copy. All right, those ones don't work for shit. Okay, I think somehow the file got corrupt. But my Pokemon Emerald for my Game Boy Advance still works to this day, and I still have all the old Pokemon on there, all the ones that you could legally get. You know. We weren't using Game Sharks by that point. No. We stopped using Game Boy Sharks after me and my brother stopped using that after the Color era, the Pokemon Color era, or Pokemon Game Boy Color era, or whatever. We don't use those Game Sharks anymore. We don't use that shit anymore. I think it's called Game Raider now, but like, yeah, no, you don't want to use that stuff. You want to have real Pokemon, not the what do they call them? Not legal ones or whatever. But yeah, I wonder if I should transfer my Emerald game Pokemon now. I just, man, I don't know if I should though. That's just like, if I transfer that all the way up to Emerald, but if I don't transfer it by February, I'm gonna be fucked. I'm never gonna be able to transfer my Emerald Pokemon. One day I should just like, I could see if I could pull that up at one point and show you guys what my old Game Boy Pokemon were from when I was a kid. So sure, it still has the dates on it. We're just like playing that Emerald game again because I beat the game in that. I beat the game in Emerald. That was one, Emerald was probably Pokemon Emerald. Like, the third games were always better than the original two because you could always get all the legendaries in the third game, like Crystal, Emerald. You could always get like all of the Pokemon instead of just like the one, right? I always liked the third games better than the two covered games because of that, because you could get them all. You know what I mean? But anyways, yeah, I don't like this. I'm pissed. Hopefully y'all hear this, and my mic won't not be muted. Me ranting, ranting for 18 minutes, of wasting my time, since it didn't record. But anyways, yeah, guys, that's it. Do what you gotta do, guys, for Pokemon Bank. If you want to transfer your Pokemon over or not, so be it. But don't be complacent. Very unfortunate news. That's it, guys. I am the SS Ultimate Goku. Comment, rate, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. I'd like to know the discussions. And yeah, that's it, guys. I am the SS Ultimate Goku. Gotta catch them all. I'm out. Peace. Also, make sure, besides my YouTube channel, to follow me on the Twitch, the Instagram, and you do have a Discord link in the description where we discuss various topics, including this one here. Now I'm out. Peace. Oh, and also don't forget about my YouTube, Google community post thing or whatever, where I talk about other stuff that I don't get an opportunity to make videos on. Now I'm out. Peace.